Welcome, Singh, to this wonderful Ecopeace Changemakers Cafe session. So before we start, I would like to share a bit about Ecopeace Teen Cafe. Ecopeace Teen Cafe is an online platform for having dialogues on peace and climate action. And we start this program for especially for teenagers to help them having like more kind of dialogues and open conversation and hear from them about their perspective on various climate and peace related issues. And after that, we started Ecopeace Changemakers Cafe to have to have an external guest or like an young change makers who's doing amazing work on ground. So yeah, today we have you like a very special guest for today. And actually, we planned this session to celebrate during the International Women's Day, but then due to our availability, it changed a bit. But yeah, still March. So we are every day we are celebrating women, and definitely we all are like proud women change makers. So once again, welcome to Ecopeace family and Ecopeace change makers cafe session. And to people who are watching this, I would like to introduce Jing, who is joining us from Philippines. She is serving as the senior campaigner for community empowerment and engagement at Center for Energy, Ecology and Development at the Caritas Internationalis. So we will like today we will hear more from her about her journey, and she's working with Caritas for many long years. So there is like lot to share from her side. So without any further ado, I'm like open this floor for you. Please,
Thank you
yeah,
so
please.
much. Thank you so much, Greshma, and thank you for inviting me. I'm really glad and honored, especially to be part of this discussion, and also to be able to share whatever I can, in order for us to be able to also partake or impart learnings, skills, and even wisdom, especially to teenagers, to women as a whole. Um, Everywhere in the world, with the discussions that we will be doing this afternoon.
Yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, maybe we can start our discussion with sharing your journey with Caritas. Actually, like what inspired you to work at the intersection of livelihood, women's empowerment, and clean energy. Maybe we can hear that starting journey, like how you start and yeah.
Yep. So I started really my professional work within the church, the Catholic Church. So I've started with our diocese here in the province. And then I worked with the media. That was my first sort of introduction to the church. And then in 2013, during Typhoon Haiyan, that was the biggest, and then I think the most destructive typhoon that we've ever had in the Philippines. There was an opening at Caritas Philippines, and so there was an opening for communications, and I applied. I got very lucky to be part of the whole team. So I worked there for 11 years, and then so all this time I've been like working for communications, for partnership development, for donor relations, and then just recently, I think for the last 4 years at Caritas, I've been working under the leading the ecology program of the organization, and then ensuring also that we are able to strengthen our advocacies on ecology, because for the most part of Caritas, of its 60 years in the field, what we have been doing is just provide support to other organizations who are doing advocacies on ecology. And then when I came in, we started to look at things differently also, in terms of really making sure that we have concrete actions or concrete programs on ecology. That's the reason why we introduced the integrated bamboo forest program for the whole Philippines. So in the Philippines, we have 86 dioceses. So we started off with three dioceses, and then it just mushroomed, or it grew to, I think when I left, it grew to 13 dioceses with not necessarily having a bamboo forest, but a forest project. So be it with their parishes, there are several who also did it like that's connected with the sacraments that they receive. So the parents, for example, if they are doing the baptism of their children, they cannot get baptized if there would not be any tree planting activity. But this is not like done in silos. As I have mentioned, we wanted something for the advocacy to be more holistic. So so catechism will be part of the whole process. There would always be orientations. So it even in schools where they do forest projects. So it becomes part of the whole curriculum and not just like a single 1 day activity and then that's it. So we really wanted to make sure that it's in integrated. And then we've had also I had the opportunity to sort of conceptualize pilot projects, like for example, since the Philippines is very prone to disasters. So we thought of having like a digital mapping mechanism or application, where we would be able to provide data about like where in the Philippines are the most prone to disasters, how many people would be more likely affected by the disasters, and then we put that into an online thing, so that it would be the dioceses, our partners, would be able to make use of those data. It's sort of like a census of the population, but it's more in the lens of disaster response. And then so that became like a that won a an award, one of the best humanitarian actions, I think in 2018. So that's also where we um we we based like the geotagging of the forests, because we wanted also to make sure that we know what is happening to the forest. So those things. And then while I was with Caritas, I'm really happy that, and honored and proud that I was able to be part of working with women, especially rural women. So what we would be doing are like to organize women, 10, 15, 25, 30 women groups in a community or in a cluster. And then we would be helping them first with like just knowing about yourself, like getting a glimpse of not over analyzing yourself, because that's not who we are, but making sure that we understand what are our needs, what are our roles in the society, and then what else can we do, what are our aspirations, and then bringing out that confidence, so that these women would be able to think about what can I do to help my family, what can I do to help my husband, what can I do to help my community. And then for having that clarity now brings us to the next point, which is financial literacy and then financial freedom, because in most cases women are entangled in these vicious cycle of I am not enough, I need somebody to make me whole, or I am not that beautiful, because we do not really have that, in a sense, economic freedom to live out what we wanted, or what we have like envisioned, or what we dreamed of. So I think for the longest part of my 11 years with Caritas Philippines, those were I think the most memorable, and I think um the most times that I'm really happy that I'm working with the community. So making sure or seeing from my own vantage point with my own eyes how women from very being very shy, not sure about themselves, to being really confident and then voicing out, becoming leaders, of their own right. So and that's, I think those are the things that even as I transitioned from Caritas Philippines to Caritas Internationalis to the Center for Energy, Ecology and Development, I think that is the frame of mind, that is the lens that I'm bringing to these new organizations that I'm with, so that each community really would be able to, not only their women, but everybody, especially children, because children are the hope of I mean, they are our future. So we have to really be able to also hone them into strong persons, able to think for themselves, stand on themselves and think of others, not just themselves, because we wanted everything that we know to be transferred, to be given, to be offered to others, so that the ripple effect of our skills can be their skills also, and then our development can be their development also. So it's not just confined within ourselves and within our groups, but it is shared. And that's, I think, what's most important, because like nowadays it's always just us, me, myself, and then the whole this box that I create for myself. And we do not want that. We want everybody to be more generous to each other, to be more kind. And even like now I'm working also with one local foundation that we created during the pandemic, the COVID pandemic. It's called the Kindness Station, and it's really just wanted to make sure that everybody not only speaks about kindness, but goes out of their way to give kindness, to share kindness. So um and I think that's, no matter if we are celebrating Women's Month, the Environment Month, or anything, all these things should be centered on those things. We have to be kind, we have to um be able to share this our talents, we have to be able to be generous, so that it would not just be us telling the story, but it would be many, like this type of discussions, of spaces are always created so that the ripple effects of kindness, of generosity, of being, not only just sharing about the essence of being a woman, because it's like I think that discussion is still relevant, but we are moving into another generation that uses a different language. So we have to be able to also evolve as a woman. So, and that is, I think that's what we needed now. And for all those years working with the church, with different charity organizations, and even non-government organizations, I think those are the most important lessons that have been imparted to me by my mentors, who mostly are men. So I just realized it because I've been working with a lot of bishops, of priests, and like even the organizations, there are a lot of men. So there are only like tidbits of, but I'm really, really glad that most of my teachers from elementary to tertiary are women. I only have like one, two, three, four men teachers. But so I think I was honed, like starting from my family, my mother, my grandmother, everybody, they are all women. So I think that that strong regard to, not only to the rights of women, but to the welfare of women, to the dignity of women, emanated from birth up to this time. Yeah. I'm sorry, I've been talking a lot.
Yeah, it's really interesting to hear from you, and also what you shared, like um, about the projects you did with the diocese through Caritas Philippines, and also the evolving mentality of women and thinking about the financial literacy and financial freedom part. So there are like lots of inspiring stories. So yeah, from your experience, I really want to know uh, um, like, um, like how like working with women on the bamboo project and seeing like lots of impact. Like, what's the like maybe see like going through that journey, like what's the one or two strong impacts that you see in your journey with like working with women, and which and maybe that thing which you really want to see it globally, like not just in you in that community, but you want to see that impact globally.
Yeah. So I think it all started in 2015 when uh, an indigenous group of women in the Philippines, it's in Palawan. Palawan is one of the most beautiful places in the Philippines. It's called often as the last frontier of the Philippines in terms of environmental sustainability and development. So I've met with them. There are 14 of them, and they are all like the elder women in the tribe. 14 of them, and then they just told us back when I was with Caritas Philippines that they said, so you see, and that was after Typhoon Haiyan. So we came to their community, thinking that, okay, this might be the time for Caritas Philippines an opportunity to help them with their livelihoods. And then they told us that, no, we are not interested with any of the things that you are offering us. And for them to tell us, because like we are the church, we wanted to help. And then and it was the first time, and even for me it was the first time that somebody said no to whatever we are offering, despite their dire need for help. And then so we asked, what do you want then if you don't want the help that we wanted to offer you? And then they said, we are not interested. What we are interested is this one. um we are bamboo weavers. And then we are 14 of them. We are 14 of us. We are the only ones left in the tribe who knows how to weave bamboos. So, this is the condition that we wanted to give you. You make us relearn. So, not just us, there has to be like at least two generations of new weavers. So, make us relearn our culture and our tradition of bamboo weaving, and then you can do whatever you want with us. And then I told like our team and then the priest in charge of the social action in Taytay, um, we cannot do that. Can we like do anything we wanted? I guess we can't do that. But to make a long story short, so we said, okay, we will help you do your bamboo weaving, get back on your feet, and then from there I think we decide. So if you relearned it, then we decide after. So for the next several months, we helped them. We gave them training. We requested our government, from the Department of Trade and Industry, from everywhere. We let them come to their place, and then uh train them, retrain them. And then in the process, I, for one, learned a lot about bamboo. And then I think that sparked, that lighted the start for me to really be fascinated about bamboo, because there's so much like I just knew from that point that bamboo is a grass and not a tree. And that's the like the and period. That's the only thing that I knew about it. And these amazing women taught me how to like respect their culture, respect um environment, and then also respect what they just wanted to achieve. So because in most cases, development workers, NGOs would come, or even the government, one of our sins is to come to the community thinking that we are saviors. But these women stood their ground and said, no, we do not dream of becoming rich. What we just wanted is to make sure that these generation and the next generations of our IP community would know, would learn, would imbibe, and would be proud that they are bamboo weavers. And that's it. And then 12 years after, like until now, I still can name them one by one, although one already died. So there are only 13 left. And then we have I think the youngest bamboo weaver is called Precious. Um, and she's now, I think, from 8 years old. From the first time I met her, she's now 11 years old, and then she's been earning from her skills. So I think that's the beauty of it. We did not come to their community thinking that we will be saving them, but instead, I think in the process, it was a give and take relationship. They learned from us, but I think for me personally, I learned from them more. Like how they care about, like now, and that's why we started. I think I conceptualized the Bamboo Forest Project because what they told me, after they were able to already join international trade fairs, they are able to compete internationally. They were able to also showcase to the government. They are the Department of Trade and Industries official bamboo weavers. So and that's like a huge leap from how they were before. So for me, looking and then now, what struck me really was when I was talking with Nanay Maribel. She's a mother, and then I call her Nanay Maribel always. She's the leader of the group. When I talked to her, and she said, she when I was just saying hi and hello and all these things, she told me that, Miss Jing, so we're done with training, with our livelihood. We are okay with everything. We are like all set. We are stable. But we found out that our source of bamboo is now becoming smaller and smaller, meaning the land where the bamboos are planted, which are ancestral domains, are getting smaller. And then I was asking her, but it's your ancestral domain, so why does it get smaller? And then she said, it's because of economic development. Like many tourists would come, would make sure that for example, would make sure that the foreigners would come, they will marry, and then they will buy the land, and then that becomes like problematic. So she said, so now this time we wanted to make sure that we protect our land. So it's not just they to protect the bamboo, but to protect their land. So now, from just aiming to be able to continue their culture and tradition, to be able to provide livelihood not only to their tribe but to all the other communities that they've been able to help, um they were able to now like thinking about what can we do about what can we do about these things. How can we help with the environment, with saving the environment and saving our ancestral domain. So I think that was the idea also for the um that was the idea for the for the bamboo forest. So that kind of like the shift in the mindset and the maturity in the mindset is what I think what I wanted to be able to capture and to share also with all the other communities that we are working with for the bamboo forest project.
Yeah, yeah, that's so great. I can really visualize, like when you share the story of this woman and the indigenous group and their bamboo weaving, I really visualize like what really happened in that community. So maybe we can shift our focus to clean energy part. So so I would really like to hear, like, from your experience, how does clean energy contribute to women empowerment at the community level? Have you seen any changes at the community level, like, by bringing the clean energy? Yeah. You're on mute. You're
Sorry. So in the project that I'm working now with Center for Energy Ecology and Development, we are working again with another IP group. So the first one in Palawan was where the Tajawan women. And then this time we are working with the Mangyan community in Oriental Mindoro. It's another part of the Philippines called the Verde Island Passage, which is the Amazon of the oceans. So it is the center of marine shorefish biodiversity of the whole world. So that's how important this community is to us in the Philippines is. And so we are working with them. And I think the beauty of it is that from my work in Caritas, which with them, with this Mangyan community, which provided them with housing, with livelihoods, and then now comes in the opportunity to help them out with their electricity because for the longest time, the community is off grid. And then I think for the last 5 years, they were able to connect to one house outside of the tribal community. Um, but it was just like it's on and off, so it's not really very it's not really cool to have like just for 1 hour you get electricity and then you don't know when it will be out. So last year in December we started off with the campaign to switch on this Mangyan community, and I met again the women that we worked with before. And the first thing that they told me was, Miss Jing, I am already a graduate of education degree. So, and her husband is just graduated, and several of them is about to graduate this time of the year. So I'm really like I was really happy that they are d- telling me these stories of like life stories and then life updates. And then when we get to the point of talking about, so how did you start thinking about we wanted our own electricity, our own supply of electricity? And then they said it all started actually with the project that we did with them several years back. So we only were able to with Caritas Philippines, we only were able to provide for just like two solar panels, two for their livelihood, and then that's it. So and and they said that in their tribal meetings they would always say, what if we purchase our own solar panels and then we would have our own electricity? So I think it stayed for them for several years until they decided to save up. So because they have already a savings group back then, and what they did was to save more, specifically for their solar panels. And then they came to the organization to seed with the Catholic Church and then said, we have 15,000 pesos. We saved this up, and then we wanted to see if you would be able to help us find a supplier of solar panels who would be able to design a financing with us so that we would be able to have our own electricity. And so um seed, and then the social action of the diocese said we can very well help you with that. So last December, I think it was December 8th, we went there and then we light up the whole community. So all 37 houses now has two solar panels which would be able to light up like three bulbs. They can charge their phones. They can also connect, like if they have a television or a very small refrigerator or an ice box, they can have that for 24 hours, 7 days a week. And that's it. It was like the first Christmas ever of the entire community with lights. And that was, I think, for the women, they are telling us that, so this would help us already make sure that we can do our assignments, because several of the women there are still studying, and they can do their assignments, and they would be able to help out their children, tutor them at night, because in most cases they can't do that, because they needed to finish everything that they needed to be doing. Like in the morning, they will be on the field doing their livelihoods, planting, cleaning crops and everything. And then in the afternoon, they need to be back so that they would be able to clean the house, clean the clothes, everything, like the household chores, cook, and then without being able to help out their children at school or do anything else. And then now they would be able to do more. But they said it would also give us more time for ourselves, because they would be able to now allocate some time off, like 1 hour, just doing nothing, chill. Because I mean, women need to rest also for the day's work. I tried becoming a full 100% housewife in my past life, and I did not pass. So I failed that. So because it was really hard. I mean, going to the office, working, and then doing all office works are nothing compared to being a housewife, or going to working in inside the house. So I think being able to have that freedom. So I started off talking about economic freedom, and then now also the freedom for yourself, like a time for yourself, is very important. It's like a switch that needs to be switched on more often for our sanity, but make for the sake of the family also, because parents, especially the mother, are actually like the very strong glue that keeps the family together and keeps the family afloat. So but if you are not intact with who you are, with what you wanted, then it would be very hard for you to keep that to role. So I think for these women in the Mangyan community, now having their own access to to free electricity for life, then it's something that's really not only adding to your confidence, but really adding to your dignity, not only as a person, but this as a woman, as a family, as a community.
Yeah, thank you so much. This is like so brilliant, like how this clean energy helps the women, and especially I really like they come up with money and asking church for the support. That means a lot. And also the entire story, like not just this one, but the bamboo project also. We see like how the women are really empowered. Like they come up and they ask, like they share their needs without any like any fear. So that itself shows like they are already empowered and they know what they want and they are ready to ask that. So it's really
Yeah, but
inspiring.
it did not also like happen with all like stars and moons and everything, that it's like handed to you in a silver platter. For me, I think the challenge from us was to make sure that our intention is not only good for them, but our intention are genuine, are sincere. So it has to be, I think for me personally, it there has to be an investment to build not only a connection but a relationship with all these women, because I think had I not built that, I had not invested in a personal relationship with them, is all these things will never be possible. Because I know that, I mean, I am not a trusting person. So I know how encroaching to their community, asking them all of these questions, and then requiring from them these things, it's not, it's not easy. So I think so for everyone, especially for those who would want to, for the teens, for the youth, for the young generation who would want to work or to start working with a purpose, I think the first thing that you have to make sure is that you are clear also with your purpose. Because if not, it should sense is it would reflect to like how you treat them, how you like communicate with them, what is your relationship with them. So for me personally, the investment really of a personal relationship, you have to really know like what is it like to live in their place, in their community. What is it like to like what their food basically, where do they take a bath, how do they communicate in terms of like if I am angry, how do I communicate it with them? If I am disappointed, how do I communicate it with them? It's not how you communicate at home. It has to be another level. So those things, so um that's I think if you were able to achieve that, you have you would have a lasting relationship with your community, even beyond the project life and even beyond your organizational life. Because now I am outside of Caritas Philippines, but just like several weeks ago, I received a message from Nanay Maribel of Palawan, and then she was telling me, Miss Jing, there is a politician from far, far away in the Philippines who's using our name. And then she said, they cannot use our name. Bambuhay is their name. Um, and then they cannot use that name. They don't have the right to use that name. So these kinds of things, just giving you these updates is very precious. You know already that anywhere in the world, you know them, they know you, and then you can exchange messages, hugs, and um everything. So and I think that's the beauty really of making sure that you know them first before you implement anything.
That's Yeah, yeah, I'm really taking all the lessons from you to share it with my community, and also like when I design the program, I will keep all these lessons with me. And also when you share this, I really want to point to the next question that's about the key challenges. Uh, like as you share, like you are working with indigenous women and who already gone through different crises, and especially Philippines is like very sensitive to climate change and also the weather pattern. Like we keep hearing about the floods and cyclones, like everything. So I'm really curious to know like what are the key challenges you faced while implementing these programs, especially working with women, and yeah, and how do you address those challenges?
So there are like operational challenges which like for example, how do we make them attend the meetings, how do we those things, because in most cases these processes are new to them. You know, when working with indigenous peoples, they have their own way of life, they have their own clock, they have their own timetable, like when they get up, what they do next, those kinds of things. They have that set already from way before we even thought of going to them. So operationally, those are like the challenges. But for me, I think personally, which is I think greater than the organizational or operational challenges is also making sure that um how do I so I have a vision. My vision is to help them. However, there are also chances where in your as you are wanting to help them, you're also facing your own challenges as a woman, as a mother, as you know, you have your own self to also think about. And when talking with these women, as personal problems, their problems arise, you cannot help but also think, I have also my own problems. I also have my own challenges, my own difficulties, my own issues. And when these two collide, it is very like you must really be very conscious not to interchange this two as your own journey. You have to be able to be very respectful that you are in their space, and this is their time to shine, so to speak. This is not about you. So you have to be able to contain yourself into not oversharing that, oh, I also do that, or I also feel that. No, you're not their counselor, you know? So you have to be very strong also. So you have to be very ready with the work ahead before going into like there was a time that so Marawi siege, it's a armed conflict that happened in the Philippines, and then before the pandemic, and then it happened it was a time when so I have to go there, and I have to meet with Muslim women who experienced the conflict firsthand. So they experienced how was it like their houses were bombed, their families, some of their family members were killed, and they have um to evacuate, and then for several months they haven't really gotten any answer from the government as to where should they be going next, what should they be doing next. So with this, and when I went there, I was also having my own personal issues. So when they started crying, I was thinking, can I also cry? How would I how would they know that I'm crying for them and not I'm crying for myself? So you have to, I think that's where the inner strength of a woman comes in. Being able to not detach yourself from the situation, but being able to set the boundaries. So, and that's, I think, one of the big challenges that most women in our industry, in our work, doesn't speak about, because we wanted, like, the society is telling us you have to show yourself, you are to show everybody how strong you are, so that nobody notices. And no one for the longest time would be thinking of interventions for us to do that. Like, um I think I remember the first time I heard about caring for the carers is when we were well into the anti-drug war campaign in the Philippines. Um, and I was thinking, it's not just about drugs that we have to be caring for the carers. It has to be for women, for mothers, it has to be for teachers. We have to care for them because they are caring for the entire country. So, and I think that's where sometimes our system fail us as women, because there are no concrete interventions really. Yes, there are laws, like for example in the Philippines we have the gender and development law, or but it doesn't really articulate what we need from the system, or what we need from our government, or even our our like the family orientation doesn't also provide for that. So I think it is up to us to articulate that, and it is up to us also to make sure that there's something done about it. So all these things has to be shared, talked about, so that a system will be put in place to help us, to help the carers, because we are not as strong as they think.
Yeah, I'm thinking like, are we strong enough? Like sometimes, uh, yeah, sometimes we want to cry, sometimes we want to feel like what the world is going through, and especially right now. And yeah, but sometimes we feel like we have to show up for ourselves, we have to speak. There is no one with us to support, or like even for the career, like we have to come up, show up, find solutions, fight for all the problems. So yeah, so we carry lots of weight, and definitely when we work with women, we feel their struggle. And also, yeah, sometimes we cry with them, sometimes we hesitate to cry, and making that leadership, like feeling that leadership power. Yeah, so thank you so much for sharing that with us. And yeah, we planned for like a 1 hour session, and now we just have 10 more minutes. Yeah, so it's a like very nice conversation we are having. So I would like to hear from you, like what changes or opportunities do you really want to see like see for scaling up the clean energy or the livelihood initiatives. Like we really, like as a community, we really want to create like long term impact. So how do you see, like from your experience of last 20 years, how do you see that, what will be the changes or opportunities?
I think the opportunities are already there. So we have the infrastructure, we have the systems, we have the technology um, to be able to make sure that, for example, clean energy, accessible energy are given or are provided. I think what's missing is, and so I don't want to sound ungrateful for all the governments, for what our governments are doing, but um it's not enough. So at times, or there are times, and I think this is one of the times where we needed to make sure as women, like we group ourselves, like just like what we did in the Philippines. We call it the self-help group approach to community organizing and savings mobilization. We now have more than Caritas Philippines now have more than 500 groups of women, and then another, I think, less than 100 or more of families and of youth groups who did who were able to organize themselves and then save. And then I think for now we have more than 48 million pesos in savings. And these are like the money is with the community, it's not in the banks. The banks are not profiting from this money. So 48 million pesos. These are all in the communities, with our women, with our children, with youth groups and with family groups. Um, so we have to take it upon ourselves now. So if the government, NGOs, the business sector, private sector are not doing enough, then we have to take it upon ourselves to make it better for us. Just like what the Tajawan women did in Palawan, just like what the Mangyan community did in Mindoro, we have to take it upon ourselves, because I think one of the things that resonates to me over and over was what the women in Mindoro told us when when they said during the switching on ceremony. They said, it is, we know that we are poor, we are not yet there, our livelihoods are not yet stable, our crops are our production of crops are slowly decreasing because of climate change, because of all these factors, and prices of electricity, prices of fuel, of transport are going high. So we are not just there, we are still poor. But they said one thing that they cannot, that we are not, is lazy. We are not lazy. We can do things. We are farmers, we are carpenters, we can do things. And so we can save. And their group alone, they were able to save 15,000 pesos. So 37 families. And so they said, if we are able to do that, then no one else can say that they cannot save. So we have to take it upon ourselves as women. It's not, um it's good when there are help coming in, but we have to also make sure that we do something for ourselves, that we can say that I have my name on this thing, on this effort that we did. So if we wanted to make sure, like, clean energy, it's becoming more affordable. Solar panels are becoming more affordable. I think in a month, when we save up, for example, $2 or $1 per day or per week, we even have like groups who, because they said we are very poor, so we would only be saving 1 peso per week. And then for 6 months, they were able to save up 6,000 pesos, and then were able to start rice retailing, and then now they have the entire community buying rice with them, from them. So that's it. It's like you just need to have the, like, very clear vision what you wanted to do, and then later on people will be coming in to help you out. Just like what happened with the Mangyan community, just like what happened with the Tagbanwa women. People will be there to help you if they see that you're helping yourself. So be that.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing all your wisdom with us, and also sharing that the opportunity, like existing opportunities. And I agree, like if we have like more affordable clean energy, like if we have the access to solar panel, that really brings big changes to the communities. And I know, like right now we are like, especially countries like South Asia, like South Asian country, really going through a big energy crisis. And so yeah, so we really need to find plan Bs, or like the solutions to the current crisis. So yeah, it definitely, like we need to find the alternative solutions and make it really accessible to the communities out there. So, yeah, so thank you so much for sharing all the valuable thoughts and your insights with us. And we wish you like wonderful career ahead. And like I hope you do like lots of adventurous things and the betterment of women and communities out there, not just in Philippines but all over the world. So wishing you all the best in your future journey. Thank you so much. And do you have like one final word to share with us?
Thank you so much, Greshna. Thank you so, Greshma, and thank you for this opportunity, really. And I'm really happy that I get to, with my work, I get to also share things from the Philippines to the world, especially to India. I think the first, next to the Vatican, my next favorite country is India, especially in Kerala. So thank you so much. For this opportunity to be able to connect with the people and the women in Kerala, the youth in Kerala, in 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 India, as a whole. I think for me, one lesson that would always come to mind was one thing that was shared with me by my psychology teacher back in college. And that's really just very simple. uh as a woman, or I was a girl during that time. So he said, as a woman, you'll face many difficulties, and then you'll face many discriminations that people will be telling you, you cannot do that, you're not enough, you're not beautiful, you're not worth it. But it's actually the voice in your head that you have to just listen to. Because if you listen to other people, they are just distractions. Listen to your head, listen to your heart, know what you wanted to do, and put your hard work on it, and let it define you, not other people, not what they say, not the missed opportunities or the what ifs. Just focus on what you wanted to do. And I think the next lesson came from an Indian, my favorite Indian movie, which is The Three Idiots. And um, they're saying, the lead character was saying, you don't have to focus running after success. You need to focus making sure that you excel in everything that you do. Just like you're washing the dishes, be excellent in washing the dishes. You're tying your shoelaces, be excellent in tying your shoelaces. Because when you're excellent in what you do, success will run after you. It may not be a big success like a very successful profession or a very big mansion or a very fat bank account, because it's you who will define success, right? Remember your focus, remember what you wanted to do in life, remember your purpose, and that will define how you define success. And so make sure that you do everything excellently, even with praying, even with, but you don't need to compete with other people. Just set for success, for excellence, and success will follow you. So for all the women, all the youth that would be part of this conversation, do not mind all the outside noise. Just focus on yourself, focus on your voice, focus on your vision, and then do everything excellently. And you will be at peace with what you will be achieving next. So that's it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, just pause all the outside noise and just start listening our inside voices and doing the work. Yeah, with that note, thank you so much to Singh for spending your valuable time with us. And yeah, thank you. Thanks to all the listeners out there. And yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.